You must have seen those people, amazing anchors of those late night TV shopping networks. And the one thing that they always do is they always hold the product as if it's for $1 million. I think something like this. And then they even point. Now both my hands are being used because I've got some really serious stuff on the show today. I'll take you through all three of them. We've got the Honor View 20. Now, I've already done a preview of this. We've shown you little things about it. Many world firsts in this. They say 8 world firsts. As I always say, let's not really go for all those 8 world firsts, but there are some that are really amazing and some that we didn't even know about that they actually showcased when they launched it. So we'll do a in-depth review and some of the very interesting things we'll test out next week. So that's the Honor View 20. And then, of course, again, we've spoken about these two also, the M10 and the M20. The new M series from Samsung, their biggest pure play for online. It's finally here. Did they do it right? Did they get the pricing right? Have they been aggressive enough? Can they really make a dent in the online market? Can they take on the big guys of the online market? We'll actually talk about all of this today. Then we'll come, of course, to the Huawei wireless charger and a very, very interesting app that could actually just save your life. Let's get started.
The first flagship of 2019 has arrived. This is the Honor View 20 and we take a look at all its shiny new features and see if this is the trend-setting phone of the year. Samsung's Galaxy M10 and M20 are here and they bring big-ticket specs with a live price tag. Is this going to be Samsung's giant leap into the online marketplace? We'll find out. Wireless chargers are here in the accessory market and we test out Huawei's 15 watts wireless charger and tell you if it matches up to wired charging speeds.
So lots of big things. In fact, I think I can purely divide the entire show into 2 big parts because both are main stories. But of course, before we get started with anything else, news from the world of mobiles.
Apple iPhone sales have fallen by 15% worldwide, and Tim Cook has recently admitted that iPhones have become too expensive for users around the world and that Apple is rethinking pricing in select markets. This could mean that the prices of the latest iPhones might see a dip in the coming few months. Tim Cook blames the strength of the dollar for the high prices in some markets. The iPhone XS 64GB variant currently costs 99,900 rupees in India, while the same variant costs $999 US, which is around 77,000 rupees in the US. Google's social networking platform Google Plus is set to shut down for users all over the world. After April 2nd, Google will delete all the content including videos, photos and posts and has now blocked people from making a new profile or creating an event on the platform. Google announced the shutdown of their social media platform last year, and in December there was a massive security breach that affected 52.5 million accounts on Google+. So if you're a Google Plus user, you can download all your data from the download data page on Google+.
So let's start off with this. I'm not doing any unboxing. I think I've done 2 unboxing of this already. So I'm just going to take you through the Honor View 20. And I'm going to tell you what really works for me. So I was there at the launch and started off with the design element, then the battery life, how it can charge for an entire day in about 30 minutes. That gives you a full charge, that's for sure. The 48 megapixel camera, and then they got into detail with what all can you achieve with a 48 megapixel camera. In fact, the most interesting part which I'm showing you right now is how they had zoomed in to the picture. And then they kept showing that, that zoom comes from this picture. They went to 1, 2, 3 levels of that zoom. So 48 megapixel, I think for that made a lot of interesting choices. What else did they do with it? The optics, the punch hole camera or in-screen camera as they call it. And then some add-ons that I had absolutely no idea about. Take a look. This is our review.
Shattering the glass ceiling might be a thing of the past in the smartphone world because one company has shattered it only to become the first phone with an in-display camera. Honor has punched the knock in a punch hole display on the View 20. And yes, this phone comes with a number of world firsts, but we'll get to that in just a bit. Priced at 37,999 rupees for the 6GB RAM variant, does Honor's flagship make competition sit up and take notice? And have they cracked the pricing?
The one thing that we're going to aspire for is a consumer-centric company. And probably the change that you would see is from the consumer-centric company to a consumer-centric brand. There is a difference between the two. And we believe with the brand, our approach is how we can make sure the technology that we have, we can democratize it to the maximum number of people. So the technology will remain, but the pricing, what it helps is it's going to add value. So therefore, democratization of technology will help us to go as much as consumer as possible. What we're trying to offer is within the technology, how much we can offer more. With the price point that we've been present, like 9 Lite in the last year and all, we've seen design and technology was the core area. With this device, probably we're taking a notch up. What we're adding a more layer to is the dependability part of it. You are saying we are online present, we are going to be present in offline, which means consumer has their choices. Please go and buy where you want. The other thing is in terms of the dependability would be like the service centers and all. So probably we had 20 exclusive centers. Now we are adding 20 more.
Let's take a good look at the phone. Honor has always gone all out with the designs of its phones, and this flagship is no exception. In fact, it comes with a V-reflection patterned back that bounces off light. It's very attractive to look at, especially this sapphire blue color, and it screams for attention. The phone is good to hold in the hand and offers a comfortable grip as well. The top of the phone has a 3.5mm headphone jack that we continue to remain fans of. And when we are talking about design, the most striking thing is the unique punch hole display this phone sports. It is small at 4.5mm and houses a 25-megapixel AI front camera. There is a 6.4-inch Full HD Plus screen. But the display is not the headlining factor in this phone. It is this, the rear camera that has a whopping 48-megapixel lens with a Sony IMX586 sensor. This is a dual camera setup with the second camera being the TOF or time of flight sensor that provides 3D depth. The camera is very good, but where we really found it to excel was the AI Ultra Clarity mode that really brings the 48 megapixels alive and shows every aspect of an image in quite some detail. The AI on this camera is also good and the images were not too rich or artificial looking. Honor claims the camera can detect 1500 plus scenarios. There is also a 960 frames per second super slow motion mode, which worked well when we tested it. The front camera also has an AI mode, though the colors were quite saturated in daylight. Honor View 20 runs on Android 9 Pie topped with Magic UI. There is a high-end Kirin 980 chipset which has a 7nm architecture. There is a 4000 mAh battery on board which feels more than sufficient. The supercharger that comes with the phone is a big plus. And this brings us to our verdict. The Honor View 20 is the first flagship of 2019 and seems to have left no stone unturned in this regard. It is on the higher side when it comes to the price, and the 8GB RAM variant of the phone is priced at 45,999 rupees. But the performance of the phone, along with its 48 megapixel camera, is superior even at this price point. The punch hole camera is going to be the trend of 2019, and with that, Honor View 20 is definitely the trendsetter here. So if you're looking at a shiny new phone with cutting-edge features that won't be outdated, at least this year, then the View 20 is a good choice.
Let's move on to our second top story, and of course this is also the big one, and the way this got launched, the way again the buzz, anticipation and hype around it was, and they really lived up to expectations. Samsung with their M10 and M20 phones, their new online strategy. There will be a M30 very, very soon, but these are the phones that are really making quite a bit of noise. So here are some of my observations with these phones now that the phones are with us. I mean, they've been with us for a while, but we couldn't talk about it. First and foremost, for the price point and category. Normally, when a company like Samsung would come in, there would be compromises. Okay, it's the Samsung name, therefore there's a premium, so we don't have to give you everything. Samsung threw that out of the window. In the price category, in terms of looks, in terms of specs, in terms of optical performance, in terms of screen, in terms of the fact that it's got a notch, and all those things that they've put at the price points that both the phones have come in, these are right up there with everybody else. Then, of course, comes the Samsung part of it, where they really do great stuff with optics. They are absolutely fantastic service standards, all those other things that are very important, which is called dependability. That also comes in with these two phones. Now, our review for the two phones. At the end of it, I'm going to give a verdict. Did they dent the online market?
Millennials know their social media trends, talk, and seem to even know what they want when it comes to phones.
I look for RAM and camera basically, most of the time.
First one that I would hope for is the camera quality because I click a lot of pictures. Others would be like the memory and all that.
उसकी बैटरी लाइफ, फीचर्स, डुअल सिम है नहीं है और बाकी बस उसकी रेंज मतलब प्राइस कितना है उसका.
Number one, camera. That is like first thing that I look for, and also the touch is very important for me.
Well, one company has sitting up and taken note of all millennials and seems to have come up with a series that has it all. This is Samsung's new Galaxy M10 and M20 that has a pocket-friendly price of 7,990 rupees for the 2GB RAM variant of the M10, while the M20 starts at 10,990 rupees. And with these prices, Samsung has taken a giant leap into the affordable segment, which has been dominated by the likes of Xiaomi, Honor, Realme and Asus. But with this series, does Samsung bring its A-game to the under 15K segment? Let's take a deeper look at the phones. The Samsung Galaxy M10 and M20 come with a sleek look and a polycarbonate body. The big change and the real surprise factor here is the amazing display the phones pack in. These phones have what Samsung calls the Infinity V display with a small dewdrop notch on top. The M20 comes with a large 6.3-inch Full HD Plus display. The display is striking on this phone and watching videos is a breeze. The M10 has a slightly smaller 6.2-inch screen with an HD Plus display. Samsung has dialed M for millennials with these phones, and while the M does not really stand for that, it could be attributed to the Make for India initiative that Samsung is committed to. But that said, most features do cater to the millennials of today. The Galaxy M20 packs in a massive 5000 mAh battery. The phone can last 2 days of normal use and even comes with a fast charge feature. The Galaxy M10 comes with 3400 mAh battery, which can last 1 day of heavy use. The phones also support a dual camera setup at the back. Both phones come with a 13 and 5 megapixel lens. The 5 megapixel lens adds 120-degree ultra-wide angle capabilities. Pictures taken in good light come out well when we tried the phones. There was adequate depth and the clarity was good too. On the front, the Galaxy M20 has an 8 megapixel lens and the selfies were clear with good color reproduction. The M10 has a 5 megapixel lens that does a decent job as well. And the front camera comes with light focus in selfies. In terms of the unlocking options on the phones, the slightly more premium M20 packs in both face unlock and a fingerprint scanner, while the M10 goes the Apple way and has only a face unlock option. This is a bit more tedious and we wish the M10 came with a fingerprint scanner as well. Gaming on the Galaxy M20 is quite hassle-free and the phones come with Samsung's Exynos 7904 chipset, which is designed for lower power consumption and multitasking. The M10 has a slightly lower Exynos 7870 processor, which seems sufficient as well. The Galaxy M10 comes in two variants, one 16GB storage variant and with 32GB. The Galaxy M20 steps it up a bit with a 32 and 64GB variant. For additional storage, the phones come with a micro SD card slot. The Cell Guru verdict. With prices under 15K, Samsung seems to have hit the nail on the head with the new M series. After sitting out and watching competition in this segment, they have jumped into it head first with two very promising phones. The display in this price bracket is the highlight of the Galaxy M10, as is the juice the phones pack in. The new stars in Samsung's Galaxy are definitely the way to go if you're looking at phones in the under 15K segment.
So now, of course, for the verdict, M10, M20, and I can say this with no doubt in my mind that this is the start of something very, very big. I think most online companies that do only online business should be scared, very scared, because when Samsung comes in and they're doing these kind of phones at these prices and this is what they're offering, I think everyone should be a little nervous because they can only get bigger and bigger from here. If these are as successful as we are thinking they will be, they will come into this market with a bigger bang the next time. Now let's move on to our review. This is the Huawei wireless charger. So of course you need a wireless charging phone with it. We're going to try this out properly with all the specs and everything else with the Huawei Mate 20 Pro.
What Huawei calls one of the world's fastest wireless chargers is finally out and about and has been made available in India. This is the Huawei 15 watts wireless charger, and we put it to test on its claims of being one of the fastest with the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. The charger itself is pretty sleek to look at. It has a soft silicone surface and a minimal feel to it, and it's pretty light as well. Unfortunately, the same can't be said about the price tag that it bears of 3,999 rupees. It is compatible with all phones with an integrated Qi technology. This includes the recent iPhones, Huawei's latest Mate 20 series. Once the phone is placed on the top, it starts charging without the hassle of any wires. In case a foreign object is placed on it like a key or a coin, it automatically detects it and switches off to prevent overheating. Does it charge with phone cases as well? Well, if there's a thin non-metal phone case, it might just, but thick cases will not cut it. Huawei claims 12% of charge in just 10 minutes and 31% of charge in 30 minutes. Well, when we tested this out, it did work as promised and the charger was super efficient with the Mate 20 Pro. It truly is speed that matches wired charging without the clutter of wires. So from us, it's a big hello to the convenience of wireless charging with this charger. Although we have to add a bit of a heavy add-on on the pocket after one purchases the pricey flagship phone.
Let's take a quick break right now on the Sale Guru Show. Lots of things still to do when I come back. And now, of course, for that promised land that I spoke about, where an app could save your life, and this is literally what it's going to do. This app is called AQI, and this is to do with entirely the pollution standards in and around you especially, and you can look up your entire city or even surrounding areas where you may be going to. And this is something that I think everyone should use because it's giving you real-time air quality standards. So therefore, if you're going for a walk, if you're going to go for a run, if you're going outdoor for anything, your children are, old people in your house are, check this out. It could actually be a lifesaver.
With air quality going from moderate to very poor to hazardous, the need of the hour is awareness about just how bad it is around you, especially in cities like Delhi or Kanpur. So along with the weather app that most people check, it is also time to turn our attention to the air quality index around us, or the AQI. And there's one app now that gives very accurate readings of the AQI levels in every city and every area of India. This is the AQI India app that is available for free on the Google Play Store. Not just the air quality, it also gives concise information on the PM 2.5 levels in the air as well. Once you download the app, you can add various cities to save locations to view easily like this. We entered Delhi and of course saw the drastic difference in readings between the air quality in Delhi and in a city like Bengaluru or even Mumbai. The app gives AQI parameters that gives information like the current temperature, humidity and the PM 2.5 levels as well. There's also a health advice tab that tells you if it's enough to simply wear a mask or if an air purifier is required. For example, in Kanpur, at the time of shooting this, the app gave a note that said it is advisable for kids, pregnant women and senior citizens to spend more time indoors because the pollution levels were severe. The dashboard on this app gives an hourly graph of the readings or even a time frame of a month or week. There's also a handy map that gives current AQI levels in different parts of the city according to the area. So take precautions against the smoky skies with this app that can definitely prove to be a lifesaver, especially in the winter months.
That then was the Sale Guru Show for this week. But again, I have to tell you, lots of big things happening every single week. And the month of February is going to be absolutely incredible. I can promise you one big thing, and that will come from Samsung. That's all I'm supposed to say. We'll see you next week right here on the show.